Welcome to the Vicious Syndicate Podcast. I'm your host, Kenneth King. With me are Matt and Kevin, my co-hosts, and Andrew, aka Cerebusx, is our guest. He's an arena expert, and he's going to go over the Blackrock Mountain cards with us from an arena perspective. Welcome, Andrew. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing good. Alrighty, so let's see. Let's get started here. Alrighty, so first card is the Blackwing Technician. It's 3 mana, 2/4, neutral card. Battle cry: if you're holding a dragon, gain +1/+1. Alright, so I mean, obviously, if you're building a dragon deck, this will be a good card. You know, it's a 3/5. Curves well into Hungry Dragon, which we'll talk about later. Obviously, not good if you're not running a dragon deck because, you know, I don't think anyone wants to run a vanilla 2/4. But considering its synergy with the type of deck you'll be running, it's, you know, similar to Goblin Blast Mage. It'll, you know, get value in that type of deck. So I think it's good overall. I think people will run it if they're running a dragon deck, but otherwise, obviously not. What do you think, Matt?
Obviously played in all dragon decks. It's probably, I'd say it's a bit worse than like Tinkertown Technician for the mech side, just because you don't get the spare part. But
Yeah, and a 4/4 is better than a 3/5, probably. Well, I don't know. It depends, I guess, but having the 4 power is pretty good, even if you're losing 1 health.
with the dragons in your hand instead of on the board, so it's easier. But
Yeah.
it's obviously played in all dragon decks.
Right.
Yeah.
And Kevin, well, what do you think?
Yeah, I think there's not that much to say about this card. It's fairly straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
If you're running a dragon deck, you run this card, and this is their attempt to give you early game so that you can actually run a dragon deck.
Right.
So as far as the 3/5, that's awesome if you do have a dragon in your hand.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, you're not going to play it if you're not running a dragon deck. I think it's I'm not the arena expert here, but I don't think it's a very good arena card.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it is pretty straightforward. Not that much to say.
Alrighty, and Andrew?
Yeah, I'd say it's slightly better than Tinkertown in arena anyway. If you can get the buff to go off, otherwise it's probably worse. A 2/4 for 3
Mm-hmm.
is about the same as a 3/3 for 3. I'd say it's probably slightly worse, but yeah, you can't really rely on getting dragons, so it's basically just for the stats, which is not good. A little bit below average, I'd say, but not too bad.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, next card. Grim Patron. 5 mana, 3/3. Neutral card. Whenever this minion survives damage, summon another Grim Patron. I don't think this card's very good. I think it's a fun card, but I don't think it's very good. The problem is, you know, you can never really get your money back on this card. Like, you're paying 2.5 mana for it to begin with, like, for the ability. So that, like, you know, I mean, I guess if it attacks once and lives, then great, you have a 3/2 and a 3/3, but, you know, if it, you know, attacks the one attack minion, of course, but outside of that, it's like, you know, you're paying 2.5 mana for this thing, and you'd spend more mana probably to get more of these creatures, which means you never get your monies back. It's just not. If it were 4 mana, I'd say it'd be fine, but it's just not really worth it at 5 mana to go through the trouble. What do you think, Matt?
Obviously, you're only gonna really play it in the warrior deck when you just whirlwind, make lots of them, give them charge.
Mm-hmm.
But even then, it's not very good. I've never played that deck before, and obviously no one's played it with this. I'm not gonna play it.
Yeah, it's a high maintenance combo to set
You
up.
have to build your deck all around this one card, and it's not good enough to carry it.
Right. Kevin, what do you think?
I think you guys are underestimating it a little bit. I think I don't know. I think it has potential. Not saying it's gonna be like amazing, but I think it definitely has potential with decks that can buff it up. Like I'm kind of keeping my eye on it for Priest maybe,
Mm-hmm.
and then you could. I don't know. Definitely the Warriors. The thing that everybody's looking at. Maybe Shaman even. And maybe a little high cost. I think that if you're making a deck with a theme that can support it, I think it can be okay. So that's why I say it has potential. I'll definitely toy around with it. It could be awful, but I think it deserves a chance.
Yeah, the priest mentioning priest is a good point. Obviously you want to use your hero power to keep your minions alive as long as possible and make value trades. So if you can make a value trade with this thing and get another copy of it and then heal it back up, so priest could potentially make some use out of this, but we'll see. Andrew, what do you think?
Well, obviously in Arena, this is probably the worst card in Blackrock Mountain, but in constructed, I think it's got some potential in warrior decks. Like you play the Warsong Commander and then Grim Patron and then Inner Rage times 2. You get like 4 of them, then you Whirlwind, and you fill your board up with 7 of these guys, and you charge and hit the face. You kill them in 1 turn.
Yeah, I mean the stream where they when they revealed the cards, they were doing that, and I mean it looked fun. I mean I think it's a fun card. I'm just not sure.
Yeah, I don't know if it'll be. I think people are going to try it out in constructed, and they're probably going to fail. But
you never know. You never know.
You never know. I don't have a lot of high hopes for it, but yeah, in Arena it's terrible.
I just think at 4 mana it would be a more reasonable proposition. It's just the 5 mana. It's like Bomb Lobber kills something with 4 health for the same cost and the same stats. It doesn't require anything extra from you. Anti-kill bot, same stats, same cost, heals you for 8, gets you out of range of a lot of like face hunter attacks, stuff like that. So it's like for the same cost and stats, it doesn't really do a bunch up front. That's my only issue with it.
Yeah, you just need to it's like a turn 10 combo kind of thing.
Right. Let's move on to next one. Hungry Dragon, 4 mana, 5/6, neutral card, battle cry, summon a random 1 cost main for your opponent. So obviously it's great stats for a 4-drop. I like the card. I wonder if maybe people might oversell it a little bit, obviously the one mana minion you're giving your opponent has effective charge, and you have to sort of plan around it, which not that hard to do on turn 4. You can always have like a minion from the previous turn take care of it, and now you have a 5/6. So it's just giving with Pilot Shredder, you're sort of saving 1 mana because you're losing 1 mana for the -2 health on a Yeti, but you're getting a 2-drop that you didn't have to have in your deck, and you didn't have to draw it, and you didn't have to play it, So you're sort of saving 1 mana on Pilot Shredder. With this, you're not really saving much. You're saving 1 mana on the stats, which are worth 5 mana, but your opponent gets the card for free without having to summon it and without having to draw it, and it has charge, technically. So I think it's a good card. I just don't know if it's as good as people are making it out to be. Matt, what do you think?
I think he'll be probably 2 in like every dragon deck, because the dream is turn 3 Blackwing Technician, turn 4 Hungry Dragon, and then your Blackwing Technician hopefully gets to kill the 1-drop for free.
Right.
If that happens, it's a great card, but if not, it's alright.
Yeah, I mean, the way this curves out with Blackwing is probably the best argument. I mean, those two together will be pretty big powerhouse in the dragon deck, so I agree with that. Kevin, what do you think?
I think it definitely deserves the hype. I think it's going to be very standard in most decks. It's even just the battle cry of dropping a 1-drop for your opponent is that a lot of times the 1-drop isn't even gonna do that much. And what I'm very looking forward to is to use it to be able to proc a mind control tech. Like when
that's a good point,
opponent's like a turn 7, and your opponent has 3 minions, you play it, and then you can play mind control tech. I think that any dragon deck will run it, definitely. I think a lot of tempo decks will run it. The only thing where you run in trouble is that if you're already losing, this is going to do nothing for you.
Right, just gives your opponent more ammunition.
Yeah, but I do think it's really good. I think it's one of the best cards in the set, in my opinion. And I think a lot of times in Hearthstone, what appears to be bad isn't always bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I'll admit, I'm probably thinking about the card a little bit too mathematically. Like the fact that you're only saving 1 mana on the 5, like it doesn't really matter a lot of the time. Like 6 health on a 4-drop is insane, obviously.
Yeah.
Same thing with like Water Elemental. So I mean, I'm probably thinking about the card a little bit too much like a science. scientifically when it's. I mean, the stats are really great for a 4-drop. Like at that point in the game, especially if you can coin it out, it's really crazy to have something that can kill a Sludge Belcher for free.
Yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, but I think that the vanilla stats do outweigh the cons. Yeah, and that's another good point is with Sludge Belcher. That's an automatic answer for Sludge Belcher right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see how that works out with the maybe that'll make Sludge Belcher less popular if Hungry Dragon is standard. I don't know. We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows?
And Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, it's pretty good. I think this card is at least as good as Yeti. The way I see it is this card is comparable to Pit Lord. It's basically Pit Lord, except instead of the 5 health, you're giving him a 1-cost minion.
Mm-hmm.
If you compare this card to Yeti, it's just a 4/5, so it's getting +1/+1. If your opponent gets a 2/1, for example, say you play this on an empty board, your opponent gets a 2/1. They're basically going to turn your Hungry Dragon into an Ogre Magi, essentially, kind of.
Right.
So in that case, it's worse. But if you have any sort of board whatsoever, the 1-drop probably just dies to some 2/3 or something that you have on the board. So it really depends on whether you have a board or not. If you're playing this and this is the only minion you have on the board, then I feel like it's possibly a little bit worse than Yeti, but it's going to depend. But even if they get a 1/1, on an open board, it's just going to turn it into a Yeti, essentially.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's move on. 1 second here. All right, Dark Iron Skulker. It's a rogue card, 5 mana, 4/3, Battlecry. Deal 2 damage to all undamaged enemy minions. So, I think it's a cool card. I don't know how good it is. I mean, obviously AoE backstab is pretty cool. On a 3-drop on a 5-drop with the stats of a 3-drop, I don't know. I mean, obviously, if you can wipe out a board of aggro minions, it's pretty insane. So, it does have its utility. I'm not sure how to evaluate this card. I'm not sure how good it will be because Bomb Lobber is a 3/3. This has 1 extra attack and potentially does more work for you. So I guess it's good if you look at it in that way. Matt, what do you think?
I think it's pretty good, but I'm not sure what deck you'd put it in. You'd have to put in Tempo Rogue or something.
Mm-hmm.
'Cause obviously it wouldn't fit into Oil Rogue.
Right.
Not really a big rogue player myself, so I'm not sure exactly how good it is. But if you probably hit 2 minions with it, I'd say it's a pretty good card. I'd try.
Do you so obviously Oil Rogue sometimes runs Violet Teacher. Like if this thing wipes out like a whole string of I guess the thing is Phantom Knight does the same thing, so it doesn't really matter. But do you think do you think Oil Rogue might want to use this sort of thing for a board clear in case they're in addition to a Phantom Knife or something?
You could maybe put one in an Oil Rogue. I don't think it'd be very good. Too slow.
Mm-hmm.
And situational.
Yeah. And Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't like the card at all, honestly. I don't think that it really fits with. I just don't think it really fits into Rogue. I think it's too expensive.
Mm-hmm.
I think that you already have enough tools to clear things, and I don't know. I think that you could, as a 5 cost, I think there's just a lot better things that you could put in as a 5 cost that would. I mean, I see the point, and I think that it'll definitely be played around with for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I just don't have a good feeling about it. I don't like it.
Okay. And Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't know about Constructed. For Arena, the card's amazing. It's Consecration that costs 1 more mana, but you're basically getting a 4/3 for 1 mana. It's not always Consecration, but most of the time it's Consecration. Yeah, the card's way above average. It's probably going to always get picked in Arena.
Yeah, I can see people, letting their opponent build up a board and then just dropping this thing rather than trying to control the board as much.
I think the problem with Constructed is usually your opponents don't have as much of a board, whereas in Arena, that can often happen if you're behind. It's a catch-up card.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. All right, let's move on to the next one. Rend Blackhand, 7 mana, legendary, neutral. 8/4 stats. Battle cry: if you're holding a dragon, destroy a legendary minion. So I don't think this card's horrible, but I don't think it's good. It's like, if it were 7/5, I'd be okay with it. Just the 4 health at turn 7 is it's too little. It's doing 4 damage, but at that point is very easy. Doing 5 damage is not as easy. And considering it has this dual condition, you have to have a dragon in hand and there has to be a legendary on the board. Obviously, if you can kill a Kel'Thuzad, which has 8 health and it's very hard to kill otherwise, you can get a ton of value out of it. But otherwise, it's not really that good. Matt, what do you think?
When it first comes out, I think it's going to be terrible because everyone's going to play around it as much as they can.
Right.
But the last 2 weeks of Blackrock, I'm going to just try to snipe out Chromaggus with it. Probably pretty good value for it. Other than that, I don't think it's really going to get much play. That's really it.
And Kevin, what do you think?
I don't like it. I think it's a really fun card, and I'll probably play it in some decks purely because it's fun. But when I look at the effects, I think, well, what legendaries are you going to kill? It depends on where the meta goes. Like, if Chromaggus becomes a big thing, maybe. But, like, for example, 2 of the most popular legendaries are Sylvanas and Dr. Boom, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're going to use 7 mana to just kill Dr. Boom, and the Boombots have a good chance of taking it out, that's not very valuable. You're obviously not going to use it to kill Sylvanas. That's not very valuable either.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, it could change based on where the meta goes, but I don't think it's that great. I don't think it's terrible, but I don't think it's that great either.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew, what do you think?
I think it's terrible in constructed, and it's in arena. It's unplayable. I'd rather have Lorewalker Cho than this card. I think. Maybe not Lorewalker Cho, but it's like in the bottom 2% of legendaries. In constructed, I don't play a lot of constructed, but it's just too much aggro. Unless that changes, this card is dead in aggro.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Alrighty, let's move on. Next card is the Axe Flinger. 4 mana, 2/5 warrior card. Whenever this minion takes damage, deal 2 damage to the enemy hero. I don't think it's very good. I don't know. I feel like between Goblins versus Gnomes and this, Warriors and Druids have been kind of screwed on these cards. But it's just, I don't know. It's like it doesn't have the stats of an aggro minion. The 2 damage at 4 mana is just not enough. And I mean, obviously, like Grim Patron, you can do a bunch of crazy combos with it, but I mean, again, it's like a fun card, not a good card. What do you think, Matt?
Garbage. Only gonna be played in a Grim Patron deck.
Mm-hmm.
Face Warrior just doesn't work ever, at least for me. So I'm not even gonna try.
And
It doesn't do enough.
yeah, I mean, Faith Warrior normally uses a ton of weapons to, this card would just be way too slow. Kevin, what do you think?
Oh man, I'm gonna have so much fun with this card. Oh man, it's gonna be a blast. I think that it does fit. I think that it fits in a very specific deck, but I think I honestly do think there's gonna be a deck that kinda is like a mid-range kind of warrior. I don't know. It's gonna. I'm definitely gonna play around with it for sure. I think that also you can use the first thing I'm gonna do when it comes out is try to do a commanding play this card, commanding shout,
Power
bouncing
Answer.
blade. No, Flinger, commanding shout, bouncing blade, and have it be the only minion on the board, and then your opponent dies.
Well, see, the thing about commanding shout is that, and bouncing blade is that it stops at 1 health. So I mean, so you'll do 8 damage.
8 damage.
Yeah.
It's an 8 damage combo. Yeah, it's an 8 damage combo.
They can't let you do that forever. The game would break. It has to end somewhere. And Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think it's gonna work in constructed, and in arena it's terrible. It's like a Stormwind Knight that doesn't charge, and
Yeah.
the opponent's health just in arena just isn't important. So the card is that it'll never get picked.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, let's move on. Okay, Lava Shock, 2-mana spell for Shaman. Deal 2 damage, unlock your overloaded mana crystals. So I felt for a while that like the overload in Shaman needs to be like reevaluated. I just don't think it's good enough because like there's no middle ground with it. Like if you're ahead, the overload doesn't matter. If you're behind, you can't catch up. So you can't really run a bunch of overload cards. You know, like Unbound and Elemental is not run at all anymore. Because people like the overload is just too punishing. A lot of times you lose too much tempo from it. Um, so I think this will be a good card. You know, people have talked about, you know, Lightning Storm, Lava Shock to clean up a board and unlock your mana crystals on the next turn for an on curve Fire Elemental. So you know, there's some use for this card. It makes other overload cards better. Not necessarily good. Like Fork Lightning is always going to be a bad card, but every overload card is better because now it's not as punishing if you can combo with this thing, especially with like spell damage on the board. You can, you know, you do a spell damage spell, then you play this for even more damage, and then you unlock your mana crystals so that you aren't burdened the following turn. So I think it has some use. We'll have to be tried out to see how it works. Matt, what do you think?
I just don't think it does enough. It's 2 mana, 2 damage. That's obviously bad.
Mm-hmm.
Shaman does have a lot of like really good removal with the lightning bolts and stuff, so it doesn't really need it for removal. But I just don't think you're gonna get enough value out of it. Like even if you do get it for like free, so you unlock 2, that's rarely gonna happen.
Mm-hmm.
And then just the rest of the time, you're just gonna get screwed over when you don't draw it. So.
Mm-hmm. So do you think if they made it deal 3 damage, it'd be too much? Because I mean, basically it would be a Dark Bomb with a hell of an upside. Do you think that would be?
Hey, look at Quick Shot. I think it would be perfectly fine at.
Oh yeah.
At 3 damage.
I mean, I guess we compare to. I'm not sure how, like, emptying your hand and drawing a card. I mean, I guess you know, we'll get to that card in a bit. But but I'm just wondering if deal 3 damage and unlock your mana crystals is maybe a bit much. They obviously they felt that way, or else they would have made it deal 3. Because there's no reason not to if you know otherwise. But I'm not sure how unbalanced it would be. Kevin, what do you think?
I think that if it was 3 damage, it would be extremely OP. I think it's a good card. I'm gonna have to disagree with you guys.
Mm-hmm.
As a Shaman is my background. That's I main Shaman for a really long time. I still do. It's and when I was looking at the new expansion, the one thing I wanted was something to correct overload a little bit. I think that it's kind of been a problem because you're not really getting the value out of your overload. For example, I think Feral Spirits was a problem card with 2 overload.
Yeah, I agree.
I think that's not a high enough upside for a 2 overload. I think that as I think about the card, I think maybe it might serve purpose as a one of kind of card, because it is kind of situational and then you use it. However, because Shaman does run a lot of overload and likely will continue to, I think that it will find value in most games. And the other upside that I also like is, even though the damage per mana is underwhelming, I think that a big problem that Shaman has sometimes, or has in the past, is that it doesn't have that many ways to remove 1 damage. You know what I mean? Because Lightning Bolt is a 3 damage for 1 with overload. Crackle has an overload. You have Earth Shock, but that's more of a use. You use that for a silence. You don't really, unless you have to, you don't want to use that for 1 damage. So I think that I think it's a good card, and I think it'll definitely see play. Where I think it might be a one of, but I disagree with you guys. I think it's a fairly good card, if not a really good card.
Yeah, I like the card too. I agree with you about Feral Spirit. I think there was a time in this game where like a 2/3 with taunt was decent, but like there are too many ways to do 3 damage with minions now that it's just not good enough. They need to do something with that card because I don't know. It's just paying effectively 5 mana for that is just not really great.
Well, I think that this card will help with Feral Spirits. I think it'll make it a little easier on Feral Spirits.
Hmm. Okay, and Andrew, what do you think?
I think if you can get this card in Arena, this is really going to depend on how many overload cards you can get. I think if you can save 1 mana through Overload, then the card is okay. And if you can save 2, then it's good. And if you can save 3 or more, then it's really, really good. But yeah, it really depends on how many Overload cards you have. I'd say on average, it's going to be not that good in Arena.
Alrighty, let's move on. Dragon Egg, 1 mana, 0/2 neutral card. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 2/1 Whelp. I don't think this card's very good. I think it would be okay if it were a 0/3. I just think, like, you compare it to Nerubian Egg, it's not even a contest. It's not as good at all. I mean, the cost is nice, obviously, but you're not really going to get much out of it that you wouldn't get more out of with the Nerubian Egg for 1 extra mana. So I don't think it's very good. What do you think, Matt?
I was trying to think of a deck that it would fit in. I couldn't really think of one that already exists, but I was trying to think of maybe a tempo warrior. Because what if you turn 1 Dragon Egg into Cruel Taskmaster? Like, that's insane. It's 3 2/1s, turn 2, followed by if you run that in the Grim Patron Axe Flinger deck. That's the only deck I can see it working in. I don't know what else you'd want it in. Maybe a priest to buff it up, but
Yeah, I mean, getting up to 8 damage on the board on turn 2 is pretty nuts. I mean, it's another one of those cards that's sort of high maintenance. It's like you have to put that much into it just to hopefully have enough utility from it, and then everything has 1 health, so they all die to any AOE. So that's the other problem. If it were even for a 1/2 Whelp, I mean, yeah, a 1/2 Whelp, it'd be better, I think, because it would live a little bit longer. Kevin, what do you think?
I love it. I do. I'm thinking about playing Priest right now with Power Word Shield and Velen's Chosen, and I'm just getting super excited. I think that, I mean, even if it takes damage once, you still have a 2/1 for 1. That's not bad.
That's true.
Is it overwhelming? No. I think it's definitely a pretty good card. I think that it'll fit in some decks. It won't fit in other decks. It really depends on what you're going for, the theme of your deck is. I'm most excited to play in Priest, to be honest. That's where I think it'll shine. But we'll have to see. I mean, there's still a chance that it's going to be a bad card, depending on what the meta is. I think we'll just have to see where it goes.
Yeah, I mean, Priest obviously can buff the health and get more out of it. I'm just comparing to other 1-drops that have there are other 1-drops that are 2/1s, 1/2s, 1/3s in some cases. It could have 3 health. It's it doesn't have to be a 0/2. You already have to put more work into it to get the 2/1 Whelp in the first place. They could have just made it a 0/3. Then it'd be fine.
Well, that's why I think that's why I'm most excited to see it in Priest, because you can buff the health and get it to last longer. Also, it kind of acts as a mini taunt too, because you have to kill it so that it doesn't get value, which is always nice.
Right, that's true. Andrew, what do you think?
I think in Arena this card sucks. I think it has some potential maybe in Priest if you can pick up a few Velen's Chosens, for the same reason it might be good in Constructed, and maybe in Paladin if you pick up a few Blessing of Kings. So if you're partway through your draft and you've got 3 Velen's Chosens, maybe pick up the egg. It could be good, but most of the time it's going to suck.
I mean, this card would even be better if it were counted as a dragon. Obviously it summons a dragon. I get that, but it's potential, but you got to put work into it. But we'll see. All right, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty, Dragonkin Sorcerer, 4 mana, 3/5, neutral card. Whenever you target this minion with a spell, gain +1/+1. I think this card is really good. I mean, like with Singe and Shieldmaster, you're paying 1 point of attack for its ability, but for this card, the ability is really good. I mean, we were just talking about Priest. Power Word Shield, Velen's Chosen. This thing becomes insane. So I think it's a good card. I mean, you're not paying that much for its ability, and you can potentially get a lot out of it. So I think it's good. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, the only deck I see it being played in is Priest.
Hmm.
Just because obviously Power Word Shield, Villain's Chosen, like you said. Um, you'd kind of have to put most priests don't run Villain's Chosen, I don't think. So you'd have to put it in there pretty much for the Dragonkin Sorcerer. But I think it'll work. I think it'll be like, go with Dragon, Priest, and whatever the Twilight Whelp. Obviously those will be in the same deck.
Hmm.
I think it's pretty good. I like it.
Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I love it, and I love what Blizzard has done to try to make Priest a little better. I think that Tempo Priest is definitely gonna be a viable thing. With the egg and this, I think, along with Velen's Chosen, I think that there will be a deck there. As far as the card, even if for some reason you could get nothing on it, having a 3/5 isn't the worst thing in the world. And if you even just get one spell on it, that's a 4/6, and that's automatic. 4/6 plus what you put on it. So say you put Power Word Shield on it, that's a 4/8? That's
Right.
amazing.
Right.
That's amazing.
Right.
That's so good. So I think it's a good card. I think that it'll fit into a Tempo Priest kind of idea. Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing with it.
Yeah, I mean, I was also thinking, like Warrior, like I don't know if how likely this will be, but like inner rage rampage, can start to get pretty crazy with this card if you can manage it. But who knows? Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, in Arena, it's a 3/5 for 5, which is okay. And if you can manage to buff it with something that's really, really good, but most of the time that's not going to happen. I think it really is only going to happen in Priest and Paladin, maybe sometimes Druid.
Mm-hmm.
So most of the time it's a 3/5 for 5, which is a Shield Master without taunt, which is okay.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, let's move on. Flame Waker, 3-mana 2/4 mage card. After you cast a spell, deal 2 damage random split between among all enemies. I think it's a good card. I'm not really sure what to say about it. I mean, it's like I don't know if you would use this in Mech Mage. I mean, people were talking about that, but I mean, Blast Mage is better anyway. So I mean, I don't know. Really, no reason to use this. Yeah, there's not that many spells that you would like, well, spare parts. So I don't know. It has the potential to be really good if you can get 2 of them on the board and just play a bunch of cheap spells and you know just ping your opponent's board to death. Matt, what do you think?
I don't think you'd ever want to put it in a Mech Mage, because I just don't see a reason for it there, so you'd have to put in a duplicate sort of mage. What's the new card that was added in GVG, the 4-mana one that...
Echo of Medivh, yeah.
Yeah, Echo of Medivh. I think you'd put in an Echo of Medivh deck, so then you could be aggro down with it. I think it's alright. I'll see some play definitely, but it's not amazing.
Yeah, I mean, 2 damage one at a time is, decent, but you have to put a lot of light into it to really. It's only really good if you can get 2 of them on the board against aggro or something. But otherwise, it's just sort of okay. What do you think, Kevin?
Yeah, I kind of agree. I think it's okay. I think that it's definitely a cool card. You can do some fun things with it. 2/4 for 3 is, it's not that great. The effect is pretty cool. If you have coin, it's really neat. And the other thing that I was talking about with some friends was arcane missiles is really cool with it. But I don't know. I think it's okay. I think people will play around with it. I don't think it's anything special, to be honest.
Mm-hmm. Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, in Arena, it seems pretty good. It's obviously going to go up in value depending on how many spells you have. And yeah, Kevin or Matt, not sure which one, mentioned if you have the coin in your hand, that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, combo with arcane missiles and frostbolt and stuff like that. It's not crazy, but it's pretty good.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty, let's move on. Imp Gang Boss, 3-mana 2/4 Warlock card. Whenever this minion takes damage, summon a 1/1 imp. It's a demon, and of course the imps are demons as well. I think it's a good card. This like warlocks having their I don't know, their own sort of imp master card is I think good. Can go in demon lock. Obviously synergize with Mal'Ganis or what have you. So I think it's a good card. What do you think, Matt?
At first, I thought it was really bad because I was comparing it to the 3-mana 2/3 Battlecry summon a 1/1. I don't remember that guy's name.
Raider Fan Hunter. Yeah.
Yeah, I was comparing it to that, so I thought it was a horrible card. But
It's got 1 more health.
yeah, and since it's demon, you'd put it in your demon lock. I haven't really played that deck too much, but I don't think it really has a 3-drop, does it? Demon lock?
No, I don't think so. No.
So that's probably as good as it's gonna get, like that into implosion or something. Just zerg the board down. I think it's pretty good.
And Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's solid. Considering it's definitely gonna pop out a 1/1 imp. That's essentially a 2/4 and a 1/1 for 3 cost, which is it's not bad. Plus you have the potential to get more, which is cool. And the other nice thing is that demon locks don't have a 3-drop, which could be nice to have. So I think it's solid. I think it's not like a back-breakingly great card, but I do think it's a very good card. I think it's solid, and I think it'll definitely see play.
And Andrew, what do you think?
In Arena, I'm not too optimistic about this card. Like when you compare it to Razor Fen Hunter, it's got 1 more health, but you don't get the 1/1 right away. And I think most of the time this will only give you 1/1. So you've got a 2/4 and you get a 1/1 the following turn, which is probably potentially even worse than Razor Fen Hunter when you look at it that way. So I'm not optimistic about this card in Arena. It's not terrible, but I'd say it's basically Razor Fan Hunter, which is okay.
Let's move on to Core Rager. 4-mana 4/4 Hunter card, Beast. Battle Cry, if your hand is empty, gain +3/+3. I don't think it's very good. Putting a 7/7 on the board after you've emptied your hand doesn't seem terrible. Everyone always says, oh, it can get BGH. It's like, well, okay, whatever. You can't BGH everything. It's like, sometimes they don't have it. I don't. But it's not really that good outside of that either. So, what do you think, Matt?
I don't. It doesn't go in Face Hunter, obviously, and I think you could put a 1-of in mid range. I think that's what I'll end up doing. 1-of in mid range because near the end of the game you're sort of top decking, looking for something good, like you're trying to top deck a high main or a boom just to seal the game. But then you just get like your web spinners and haunted creepers. So if you ended up getting the 7/7, that's good. I'm gonna play mid range.
And Kevin, what do you think?
I'm gonna have to disagree with that. I think it's awful. I think it's really bad. It doesn't fit in Face Hunter at all, and I don't think it fits in mid range either. If you're top decking things, like chances are, it's not gonna help you anyway. I think that also you don't want to have no cards in your hand because you always want to be. Usually when you're playing Hunter, you'll probably holding something like an Iron Beak Owl or an Unleash the Hounds or I was thinking of some other card, but I can't remember. But you're usually holding some kind of removal or clear finisher. So I think that the opportunity to have this as a 7/7 is very, very rare, and obviously as a 4/4 for 4, nobody wants that. So I don't think it fits at all. I think it's a cool effect, but I don't think it'll really ever work anywhere.
So how would you feel about this card if it were a 4/5 that became a Boulder Fist Ogre? Like if it became do you think that would help at all? Or
well, if it's a 4/5 for 4, then that's fine.
Yeah.
Like a 4/5 for 4 vanilla stats is good. So
Okay.
So
And,
it would be fine. But
Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I pretty much agree. There's no way you can get this to be a 7/7 without, like, you never want to dump your hand. At least in constructed, you're going to have a handful of spells, kill commands, and stuff like that that you don't just want to dump in order to get a 7/7, which just dies to BGH. But in arena, there is no BGH, so a 4/4 for 4 is not bad. And I think it's kind of good. I'd say this card is a little bit above average. A lot of times when I draft arena, I draft fairly aggressively in hunters, so you just need one big minion to kind of finish them off when you're top decking, and this one it can be pretty good. So I think it's above average, and it's a beast.
Yeah, that's true. Alrighty, let's move on to Blackwing Corruptor. 5 mana, 5/4, battle cry. If you're holding a dragon, deal 3 damage. I think it's a good card. I mean, obviously, if you just look at the vanilla stats, you're paying 1 mana for a Yeti. But the thing is, you're getting the Fire Elemental battle cry. I mean, obviously, you're only playing in a dragon deck. Obviously, but the deal 3 damage is, I think, very valuable. Even on a 5/4 for 5. What do you think, Matt?
It's an insane card. There's no reason to not play it in a dragon deck. Like 2 of always. I would almost even, I wouldn't say I'd mulligan for it, but if I was on coin, I would probably keep it in my opening hand if I had another dragon. It's just better than Fire Elemental when you have a dragon. It's not much to say.
And Kevin, what do you think?
yeah, anyone who's played Shaman knows that Fire Elemental is an insane card, and it's one of the staples. And so this is essentially a neutral Fire Elemental for dragon decks. And so yeah, it's pretty insane. Plus it's a 5 cost, not a 6 cost, which so it's really, really good. Yeah, it'll see play in every single dragon deck. Great card. Not that much to say. I don't think you can really dispute how great it is in a constructed dragon deck.
Yeah, I mean, like the 4 health normal would probably hurt for a 5 drop. I think in this case it doesn't matter. Like you're getting so much out of it that I think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Andrew, what do you think?
Yep, pretty much what they said. It's an insane card I think it is better than Fire Elemental if you're holding a dragon. Unfortunately, in arena, you're not going to get dragons, so this card sucks. But in constructed, it's amazing.
Alrighty, let's move on. Dragon's Breath. Deal 4 damage. Cost 1 less for each minion to die this turn. 5 mana mage spell. So I mean, the thing about all these cards that cost 1 less for each minion to die, like they're basically overcosted by 2 mana. Basically it's a Shadow Bolt, but you're paying 2 extra mana for it because you're supposed to do a little bit of work to get it to cost less than that. Obviously you can set up a scenario where it can work, but I don't know, it's really kind of not that great to me. Like the only thing I can think of is like your opponent has a bunch of minions on the board in Ragnaros, and you wipe their board with Flame Strike and then kill Rag with the last 4 damage for free. It's like, but I don't know. You've already lost at that point if that's what's happening. So I don't really see it as that good of a card. It's just deal 4 damage. Like, who cares? Matt, what do you think?
I think it's pretty awful because if you make a bunch of trades to make it cost as little as possible, a lot of times there's not even going to be a good target left, really. So if you ever go face with it, it's obviously not even good if it's 0 mana, 4 damage. Unless it's like Freeze Mage, you're trying to burst them. But I think it's just an awful card. I don't think it's going to get played in any deck.
Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, you have to think that someone's gonna toy with it in like a Freeze Mage or a Heavy Control Mage, but I don't know. I don't think it's good. I think that you already have a spell you already have Frostbolt, which is 2 cost with 3 damage, and then you have Fireball, which is 4 cost, 6 damage. So I don't think it really fits. It wouldn't go in tempo because you'd have to you'd make trades with your minions, and then it's just not really worth it. Who knows? Maybe as some kind of Heavy Control Mage, but I doubt it. I don't know. I don't see it. You never know, but I don't see it.
Okay. And Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I'd basically agree. I was thinking the same thing. Maybe in a Freeze Mage, you might be able to make this work. In Arena, you have to trade off at least one minion. Like you said, turns it into a Shadow Bolt if you can trade one minion. But the problem is, in order for you to actually make use of that 4 damage, you need to be able to trade off a minion and then still have something that is worth hitting with 4 damage, which isn't always going to be the case. Whereas it's a lot worse than Shadow Bolt. Now, if you can trade off 2 or 3 minions, then it's slightly better, I suppose. But I think this card is average at best in Arena.
Yeah. I don't know what this popped in my head. I wonder if they had Mech Mage in mind with this card. Like you trade against your opponent's mechs and then you use this on Blast Mage or something. I don't really understand like the thought process behind the creation of the card. I mean, yeah, I understand you can like Doomsayer a board and then you've got this thing for free and a Freeze Mage, but like you're gonna use it on face. The board's empty now. Doesn't really do much, it seems.
Maybe if it was 1 less mana.
Yeah, 4 mana.
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
4 mana, 4 damage. Yeah.
Yeah, then maybe.
All right, let's move on to Nefarian. 9 mana, 8/8 dragon, neutral legendary. Battle cry: add 2 random spells to your hand from your opponent's class. I think this would be good for 8 mana, because even at 8 mana, like Rag is still better. It's like, I don't know, if I had to choose between doing 8 sort of charge damage that's random for 8 mana versus getting 2 spells, I would still choose the 8 damage. So I think 9 mana is just too expensive. What do you think, Matt?
It really depends like what classes are in the meta. If it's all Warlock, the card's garbage.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're versing like a lot of mages or even like Paladin, there's some pretty good spells you could get. Other than that, I don't think it's that good. I'm gonna play it because it's fun.
Yeah, it's definitely a fun card. Yeah.
It's not the best, but it's fun.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, it's a super fun card. Has a cool animation, which is why I'll play it as a fun card. But as far as when you're playing seriously, it's no good. As long as BGH is in the meta, this will never be good. It's just you pay a lot, and you might as well play like Ysera or something. It's the same reason why the other high cost dragons aren't good. Besides Alexstrasza, of course. Although Onyxia does have a place in a certain druid deck, it's pretty universally bad. So, yeah, I think it's a fun thing. Unless something happens to BGH, I don't think it's any good.
So you think it's good if BGH isn't an issue? It's a 9 mana 8/8.
We'd have to see. I still doubt it, but if something drastic happened to BGH where no one ran it anymore, you never know. But I doubt it for sure.
Would this be? I mean, if they made it a 4/12 like Ysera, would this be like? How would you feel about it?
I think that Ysera would probably still be better, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
I think because Ysera's cards are really good. I'm
Right.
also biased towards Ysera, but
No, I mean, the dream cards are really good. So
I think that Ysera. I also think that Ysera is become a lot more popular too, which I can't wait for. But
Mhm.
yeah, I just think there are better options.
And Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, it's just like what you guys all said. It's just worse than Ysera. Ysera has much better stats and the ability is better as well. But the question is, like in constructed, you could probably run. You might be able to run both, or you might be able to run this plus there's the other legendary dragon as well, the one that gives you the double card draws, which we'll get to later. But you can play this earlier if you play that other card that discounts the dragon by 2. So I don't know. I think there's some potential for it. In Arena, it's just a fairly solid big drop. Not the best one. It's probably slightly worse than Onyxia, I'd say. It's worse than Ysera. It's worse than a lot of other legendaries, but I'd say it's above the 50 percentile in legendaries in Arena.
Alrighty.
And it's fun.
Quick note. It'd be funny is if you're playing against Warlock, and then you use that, and then you get Sacrificial Pact for Lord Jaraxxus.
Lord Jaraxxus, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty sweet.
That's gonna pop up somewhere.
Oh, it's definitely going to happen.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Move on to Dragonkin Crusher. 6 mana 6/6, neutral dragon. Battle cry: if your opponent has 15 or less health, gain +3/+3. I think it's a decent card. I don't think it's that amazing, but I mean, you're losing 1 health on the Boulder Fist to get the Dragon Synergy and potential 9/9. When your opponent's at low health, I think that's fine. I mean, I think paying the 1 life for that ability is not bad. I don't think it's an amazing card, but I wouldn't say it's bad or anything. What do you think, Matt?
Like you said, the trade-off is fine. The 1 health for the 3/3 and Dragon, but I don't think it's ever gonna get played. It's just too slow. If you have the person at 15 health, and like, when will the 9/9 really matter too much there? Like, if he's in Draxus mode, and you're like top decking or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I guess it is a little weirdly costed at 6 mana. It seemed like they could have, I don't know, made it they could have made it like a little bit more like that Core Rager card, like maybe a little bit better stats or something. But it seems like at 6 mana it's kind of odd.
Yeah, if they lowered the stats and the mana cost, just like tune it down a bit, maybe for like a 4 mana card, maybe it'd be good. But I think it's bad.
Okay. And Kevin, what do you think?
I think that I don't know. I think it's underestimated. I think it's okay for tempo, some kind of tempo dragon deck, which I do think will be a thing. I think that even a 6/6 for 6 is perfectly fine, and I think that if you do get a 9/9, that's pretty awesome, despite BGH. If he's BGHing that, that's probably pretty value, because most likely every deck will still run Dr. Boom. So yeah, I think it's underestimated. I'm thinking a deck I might like to try is like a tempo dragon priest or something. I think it might fit in there. Maybe put like one of them in a deck. I think it'll be an okay card. I think some people might play it, some people might not. I definitely do think it's being underestimated though, from my perspective.
Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, in arenas, most of the time it's always going to be worse than Boulder Fist. In arena, usually, I mean, I'd have to look at all my past games, but usually you win the game when you're, if your opponent is below 15 health, you probably already have the board control, and if you've lost it, you've probably already lost. The 9/9's not going to save you, but I think it's definitely fair. 6/6 for 6 is easily reasonable. The 1 health, yeah, could be worth it. I'd say I'd probably pick Boulder Fist over this, but it's pretty close.
Alrighty.
Oh, also, another cool note is that if handlock continues to be a thing, this is a very anti-handlock card.
That's true, yeah, because they usually hovered around 15 health.
Yeah. I don't know. I think people are underestimating it, but no one seems to agree with me, so I guess...
I don't think it'll be played and constructed. I don't think it'll work.
We'll have to wait and see.
Well, maybe. I mean, it's a dragon, right? So.
Yeah. I mean, it could be decent. It's just,
I believe in the card.
Yeah, I mean...
Just for the reason that it's a dragon, it might work.
I mean, 6/6 is nothing to scoff at. I mean, 6 health is not the easiest to deal with. 6 attack hits pretty damn hard, so I think, yeah, it could be good. We'll see. Already up. Volcanic Drake, 6 mana, 6/4, dragon, neutral. Cost 1 less for each main that died this turn. So again, another one of the... You have to do some trades to get to work out for you. I mean, this being a minion is a little bit better than a spell, obviously, because it can do repeated damage. I mean, obviously we talk about like you make 1 trade, it's a 4 mana 6/4, so I mean it's not really that bad, right? I mean the stats are pretty good for the conditions that have to be set up for it. It's not like it's that hard to get some value out of it. So I think it's a pretty good card. Matt, what do you think?
It's pretty insane, I'd say. If you ever get it for 4, it's just strictly better than the Tall Strider. And then there's a lot of times you'll get it for 3 or even 2. It's a dragon, so it'd go with all your dragon decks. If you do like the Blackwing Technician, Hungry Dragon, and then get this down for cheap, it's just gonna snowball the board. Your opponent probably can't answer it. So I think it's an insane card.
Yeah, I could see a Dragon Druid or something swiping the board and being able to play the thing for almost nothing. Seems like it'd work out pretty good.
Most people just think of like Paladin, just because Paladin is the good dragon class card
Right.
with all the 1/1s.
Yeah, I mean, this would be good against Paladin because of Druid with swipe, you know. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I think either class could probably make some use out of this card. So Kevin, what do you think?
I am kind of against the grain on this card too. I don't like it, and I'll tell you why. If you have a 6/4 for 6, that's awful. Clearly, it's not going to be played for 6 mana.
Mhm.
If you have a 5/4 for 5, a 5/4 for 5, that's not good either. 5/4 for 5 with no effects.
6/4.
Playable.
Mhm.
Or 6/4.
Yeah.
Sorry. If you have a 4 cost for 6/4, I think that a 5/4 4 cost like Lost Tall Strider is not good. So I think a 6/4 would be okay. So I think in order to get really insane value, you'd have to have 3 minions die. That's where it becomes really amazing. But I feel like that's too situational. I feel like to count on it to have 2 to 3 minions that die, I don't know. I don't see everyone's excitement with it. Although I know everyone completely disagrees with me, I don't think it's that great. I think that most of the time you'd end up having a 5, sometimes a 4. If you have a 4, it's okay, slightly above average. If you have a 5, it's awful. Plus the 5 spot is heavily contested as it is.
Mhm.
So I don't see it. I see why people like it, and I think it certainly goes. Like, I think Paladin would be a good fit for it, but I don't think it'll be great in all Dragon decks. That's my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, as I said before, you know, like just these sort of high maintenance things where, like for this card, you have to have it in your hand, and you also have to board clear in your hand, and you can't be too greedy with your board clear. Sometimes, like you know, if you're trying to wait to draw this thing, you can just fall too far behind. So I mean, you know, the setup is maybe a bit much, but I don't know. We'll see. Andrew, what do you think?
I think it's pretty good. I think I would disagree that it's bad. I think in both constructed and arena. I think if you look at the average game, there's probably numerous turns where 3 things die on your turn, so you can easily get the 3 cost value. That's what you need to do in order to get value. And some turns you may have even more things die than that. So I think the card's really good, and it's a dragon.
So is this better or worse than Bolvar?
Well, I'd say it's way better.
It's better than Bulbar. Yeah.
Yeah, Bolvar is so disappointing. I mean, it could have just easily been like a 4/6 or something with the same ability. Like just you know, like a 1/7 is just horrible.
Plus, all the other thing you consider is you could have 2 of these in your hand. If you can make like 5 things die with a board clear, you play 2 of them for 1 mana or something. That's pretty good.
Yeah, that's true. Let's move on to the next one, which is Chromaggus. 8 mana, 6/8, neutral dragon, legendary. Whenever you draw a card, put in or copy in your hand. I think it's pretty good. Obviously, paying 8 mana, like I mean, you know, most games you draw about half your deck before the game's over and constructed. Like usually I have like 15 cards left before I either won or lost. So I mean, I think there's potential for it to be good. I mean, obviously it's best in a deck where you're also drawing quite a bit, like Druid or Rogue or something like that. Well, Rogue, I don't know if they're not going to pay 8 mana for this, but Druid might find some use out of it. But I don't know. What do you think, Matt?
I think you'll go in the Dragon Paladin deck that's going to be made. Maybe Druid could be good in, because if you like innervate it out early and they don't have an answer for it. In non-dragon decks, I think it could still be okay in like maybe a mage or a paladin that are just like trying to outvalue the enemy, like a value sort of deck. I don't think it's gonna get too much play though.
Yeah, I mean, this could be good in a control meta where, you know, you're going to the late game anyway. And, you know, with Druid, you know, innervate turn 6, each of lore turn 7 to draw 4 cards, basically. Not a bad deal. Kevin, what do you think?
I think that it's not overwhelming, but I do think it's good. I think that it's like Kel'Thuzad, where it's noticeably out of BGH range.
Right.
I think that it could shine in a Druid deck where you can innervate it out. and it's really nice to have copies of Druid cards because a lot of Druid cards have a lot of value.
Mhm.
So that's really cool. I think I'll definitely include it in my Druid. I don't think it fits every deck, but decks that it does fit, I think it fits very well. So I think it'll be a fairly good card that sees a lot of play, not as a staple in every deck, but it should work in a lot of decks like Druid.
Mhm. And Andrew, what do you think?
I was thinking maybe Paladin deck could work with the -2 cost. You play it on turn 6, could be
Mhm.
pretty good.
Yes,
But
yes.
in Arena, this card it's like Kel'Thuzad, which is basically a win more card. If you've got a board, if you're ahead, then you've probably already won the game anyway. So this is just going to let you win even more. But just by itself as a top deck, if you're way behind, it's not going to save you. It's a 6/8 with taunt, so worse than Ironbark Protector. But Ironbark Protector is not that bad,
Mhm.
so it's good. It's above average.
Alrighty. Demonwrath, 3 mana Warlock spell. Deal 2 damage to all non-demon minions. So I think it's pretty good. I think one thing, Andrew, are you still there?
Oh yeah, yep. Sorry,
Okay, you're
I think I hit the wrong button. I was trying to clear my throat.
okay. No problem.
Did the camera come back?
It's not on yet. But
Oh.
I'll just keep going.
Okay.
We can work it out. So I think it's okay. I think maybe if you run like one of these and one Hellfire in like a Demon Lock deck, it could be okay. Like you have like your Imp Gang Boss and then this card to like, the thing about Hellfire is that it's a really good card, but of course it wipes both boards. So this is a way to sort of protect your board and still do damage to theirs. So I mean, I think there's some use for it in Demon Lock. As a one of with Hellfire. But we'll have to see. What do you think, Matt?
I agree with you. Maybe just a one of. I don't think it's that good. It's 2 damage. Like if there's a bunch of 2/3s in the meta, then it's bad because it doesn't even clear them.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously you need to be running a demon deck. If it doesn't hit any of your stuff, it's great. I don't really know what to say about it.
Mm-hmm.
I need to test it and see if it's good.
Okay. And Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it really. A lot of people that I know have been really excited about this card. I think it fits really well into a demon control deck.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like you would replace the Hellfire for it. It seems pretty consistent. The only downside is that you don't get the 3 damage to the face, which you can kind of use to cheese your opponent sometimes.
That's
And
true. Yeah.
it does cost less though. It fits well in a demon deck. Also, a cool thing to consider is that if you're running a demon deck with Nerubian eggs, you can also use it to pop eggs,
Mm-hmm.
which is
That's true.
it's a pretty cool interaction. So I think it's a pretty good card. I think it's a good card to have in demon lock decks. It all depends on where the meta goes, but I think that it'll be used for sure.
I agree. Yeah, there's definitely some utility to it. Andrew, what do you think?
I think it's a great card. I'd take this over Hellfire. I think it's 2 damage consecration. I mean, it hits your stuff, but if you don't have a board, then it's basically a 3 mana, or did I say a 3 mana consecration. And if you do have a board, you can play it at a time when it's not going to kill your stuff. It just damages it. So yeah, I think it's really good.
Yeah, it goes well with Imp Gang Boss and Implosion. Those 1/1s are protected. You still get to do a decent amount of damage, and of course it works with spell damage as well. So under some scenarios, you could probably still get the Hellfire use out of it, but that's a bit much. Alrighty, let's move on to Dragon Consort. It's a 5 mana 5/5 Paladin card. Battle cry, the next dragon you play costs 2 less. The card's pretty insane. Like an innervate built into a card is like being able to play this into a turn 6 Chromaggus or turn 7 Ysera is pretty nuts. I mean, you're paying half a mana point, like because it's a 5/5 instead of a 5/6 for an innervate on a minion, which is like nuts. Like it's definitely one of the best cards they've shown in this adventure. So I think it's very good. What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I completely agree with you. It's probably like the second best card in the set, next to Emperor Thaurissan.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's nothing wrong with it. The stats are fine. It's like equal to low Seb.
Right.
If that card gets played, even if you don't get value out of the battle cry, people just play it because they need the 5/5, and you're eventually gonna get value out of it because you'll play it later, like the dragon. So it's an insane card.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, with the 5 health, like, obviously, like, Kigeti is a 4/5, and Spire Tank is a 3/4. Obviously, like, technically, you'd have a 5/6, but the thing is, because it's hard to do 5 damage in this game under certain circumstances, usually just having the 5 health is fine in a lot of cases, so you're not technically losing anything most of the time. Like, even 6-drops have 5 health, and they're still worth playing, like Sylvanas. So, I think it's really good. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, it's definitely really good. There's nothing wrong with it. It has no downside. It's the card that makes a Dragon Paladin deck like the class to use. In a similar way that the mech class was Mage, really, because of Goblin Blast Mage. It's like that kind of situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of comparable to upgraded Repair Bot for Priest. The difference that makes it really good is that Dragon decks are going to be a higher curve kind of deck, and obviously mech is like a lower curve. So and it's going to let you get a really powerful dragon out faster, which is obviously amazing. So yeah, it's awesome. There's nothing wrong with it. Every Dragon Paladin deck will run too, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, amazing constructed card. In Arena, it's Stranglethorn Tiger without stealth, which isn't actually that bad. So yeah, it's actually decent.
Alrighty. Alright, Druid of Flame, a 3-mana 2/2 Druid card. Choose one, transform into a 5/2 or a 2/5 minion. It's not very good. I mean, no one wants a 2/5. No one wants a Magma Rager with 1 extra health either. So, I mean, like, the thing is, like, there's really nothing they could have done with this card. Cause, like, if you make it like a 4/3 or a 3/4 or something, it's like, well, then why even have the choice? Like, just make it a 3/4. So I mean, I don't really understand the point of this card, and it's not very good. So I don't think it'll be run at all. What do you think, Matt?
I don't think it's as bad as people say, because a 2/5, it could kill 2/2-drop minions fairly easily. And just to note, in case you guys didn't know, it is a beast, so it does go with the Druid of the Fang.
Right, yeah.
Druid of the Fang's still not going to be a thing. It's bad, but it's just not better than Shade of Naxxramas. So
right. So I mean, I think the 5 health is nice. I mean, obviously, yeah, you can make some value trades with smaller minions, so it's not terrible. It's just not really good enough. And I mean, they're slowly trying to make Beast Druid a thing, except it'll never be a thing because there aren't enough Beast cards. Like with Hunter, it's like the whole class is designed around that with all these different like they would have to have their Houndmaster and Kill Command version. Like there just aren't enough cards to make Beast Druid a thing. It's just I don't think it's ever going to happen. But whatever. They'll add 1 Beast card every expansion, and they'll still not be a thing. So we'll see. Kevin, what do you think?
Well, it's a super magma rager, so it's OP, right? But I think that statistics-wise, it's fine. 2/5, the 5/2 is obviously bad. 2/5 is fine, but the problem is it doesn't really fit. It doesn't really fit into what you're trying to do as Druid. The only thing that it would fit into is a Swarm Druid, where you play a bunch of little small minions and then use Savage Roars to finish. But that doesn't really exist anymore. So it's like statistic-wise, a 2/5 for 3 is fine, but it just doesn't really fit in anything. And Shade of Naxxramas just definitely fits more into what you're trying to accomplish as Druid. So I think in some potential meta, you never know, but I doubt it. I don't think it's good, especially not now. So yeah, it won't be used at least in the near future.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if it had, I don't know, how much better would it be if it had taunt? I don't even know if that would be enough, but it does seem like there's not enough going on with the card, It's like most other transform cards with Druid, like they do more than just like
Yeah, it just
invert
doesn't.
stats.
It just doesn't fit in anything. I think that's the problem.
Hmm. And Andrew, what do you think?
In Arena, this card's extremely good, I think, anyway, because usually if you play this on turn 3, your opponent probably has a 3/2 out, or maybe even a couple 3/2s or a 2/3, and this thing kills a 3/2 and survives with 2 health, so it can't get pinged off or hit with a rogue or druid ability. So that's really important in Arena. And also the 5/2. You guys joke about Mega Rager, but the extra health is a big difference because it can't get pinged off. So
Yeah,
if your
that's
opponent
true,
has
yeah.
like a 5/5 on the board, you can't play the 2/5 because it just dies to the 5/5 for free. But you play it as a 5/2, and unless they have a spell, then you kill their 5/5 for a 3 mana cost minion, which is really good. So I think this card is really good in Arena.
Alrighty. Emperor Thaurissan, 6 mana,
Terrible
5/5.
card.
6 mana, 5/5. At the end of your turn, excuse me, reduce the cost of cards in your hand by 1. So this is obviously the card that everyone's been talking about. That's going to apparently break Hearthstone.
It's gonna get nerfed.
It is pretty nuts. I mean, if again, like we talk about Druid and Innervate, like you can get a ton of value out of this thing. It's innervating your cards after you already innervated this thing out in the first place, and you have a 5/5 on the board. So I mean, the potential to like really blow out your opponent is pretty high with this card, I think. What do you think, Matt?
You pretty much explained it. It's probably good in pretty much every mid-range or control deck. I really want to try it in a Freeze Mage.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
think it'd be pretty good. Just the amount of damage you'll be able to do in one turn it'd be ridiculous. There's really nothing else to say. Best card in the set by far.
Yeah. And Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, this card is just absolutely ridiculous. Anything that isn't a super aggro deck will benefit greatly from this. Maybe it's Hearthstone's way of trying to dissuade people from running super aggressive decks, but but no, yeah, it's really really amazing. And if for some reason it survives more than one turn, I believe the effect goes off again, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the end of your turn. So you already get value out of it when you play
so-
it. So
Yeah, everyone's talking about the super value that you get from it, which yeah, but imagine if it lives for 2 turns. Makes it even more ridiculous. Plus,
Yeah.
you automatically have to kill it next turn, or else you lose the game. So that's another great aspect that it has. I think it's definitely the best card in the set. One of the best cards in Hearthstone, if not the best. It has to get nerfed at some point because it's just gonna rule everything. I believe.
hmm Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. This card needs a nerf. I think even aggro decks, you play this card. It's so good. Like even if you have 2 or 3 cards left in your hand, you probably already have a pretty full board that they have to deal with, and then they have to deal with this. They have to kill this thing first. You could also combo it with things like Divine Favor or something in Paladin. But in Arena, you're probably going to play this with 4 to 5 other cards in your hand. If you can play this with 5 cards in your hand, this thing basically costs 1 mana. And if they don't kill it the next turn, it just spirals out of control. So yeah, I think it's arguably the best card in Hearthstone right now.
Yeah, it's gonna be pretty insane, and it's in the first wing. So I mean, people are gonna abuse the hell out of it tomorrow. It's gonna
Yeah.
it's gonna be pretty crazy, I think.
I will say it's a terrible top deck. In Arena, it's a terrible top deck.
yeah.
But
I've been saving a lot of dust. I might just craft it golden right off the bat. I have my 3,000 dusts ready to go.
yeah.
Alrighty. So next card is the Fireguard Destroyer, 4 mana, 3/6 Shaman card. Battle Cry, gain 1 to 4 attack, overload 1. I think this card's really good. The overload is not a big deal. I mean, like you're at minimum getting a 4/6 for effectively 5 mana, which is pretty standard, and 75% of the time you're getting something better than that. So I think it's really good. Like a 7/6 for 4. Despite the VGH issue, it's still insane to have on turn 4. Like the overload is really not an issue. I would say with this card, it's just really good. What do you think, Matt?
I think it's definitely gonna make Shaman a decent class again. Like everyone calls it the worst. I know you hate that, Kevin, but
It's not.
Uh.
It's not. It kills in tournaments. It's ridiculous. Anyway, go ahead.
people are like saying that, oh no, if you roll 4, you're gonna get BGH'd. But if you want to BGH my 4-drop, go for it.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad about it if you do, like, I don't think it's gonna be a thing, but the Unbound Elemental and the Fireguard Destroyer, there's nothing wrong with the card. It's really good. Helped Shaman out. It's sort of what they needed.
Hmm. Yeah, I mean, as we've said before, 6 health on a 4-drop is insane. Just, that alone is just, it makes it a really good card. Kevin, what do you think?
Okay. As a Shaman lover, I love this card. Let me start off by saying Shaman isn't a bad class right now. A lot of people think that because it's a hard class to play and it takes some time to learn it and get good at it.
Mhm.
However, Shaman right now is actually a strong class in my opinion. Especially in tournaments, it kills everyone. Even on ladder, I've been an insanely high win rate with it. Anyway, this is Blizzard's way of saying because everyone thinks that Shaman is such a bad class, we're gonna give Shaman a really good card to bring it up from the depths.
Mhm.
It's a little over the top, I think. It has no downside. It's ridiculous. This card needs a 2 overload. If Feral Spirits is 2 overload and this is 1 overload, I have no idea how that makes any sense at all. Even if you get 1 attack, it's still really good. If you get 4 attack, BGH, yeah, as Matt said, go ahead, BGH my 4-drop, I don't care. And so you could get 1 and it's still a good card. So I think that it's designed to help Shaman become a not bad class.
Mhm.
However, I think the only thing it does is make it an easier class because I think it's going to be extremely OP with this card. And it's just not fair in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would like to see Unbound Elemental make a comeback. Like, that into this card is pretty nuts.
There will definitely be a deck that at least plays around with Unbound Elemental.
Hmm. So, I mean, this, like you said, this should be Overload too. I think this is the problem with Overload is, like, I think Blizzard realized that Overload is a little bit too punishing, so now, like, they have, like, the 3/2 Wind Fury from Goblin vs. Gnome with no Overload, and then this is, like, lower Overload than it probably should have. And it's like, I think they realized, like, they kind of screwed up the Overload thing, but they're not going to go back and change the other cards with Overload that are probably an issue that should be reevaluated. So, like, now you have, like, this sort of weird imbalance where it's like, this doesn't have enough Overload, this has too much, but how do you really, like, parse all this out, I don't know. Andrew, what do you think?
Well, you can't overload 2 because then you're paying 6 mana for a Boulder Fist, and it's not even a Boulder Fist. The best you can get is a 7/6 as opposed to a 6/7. But as overload 1, it's really good. Even in the worst case scenario where you get 1 attack, you've got a Spiteful Smith, which is 5 mana, essentially 5 mana for a 4/6, but you're getting it early, so you get that tempo, which is really important. You could play this into another one on turn 4. If you don't play it on turn 4, it's not quite as good, but still, yeah, really strong card. I wonder if I would take this over Fire Elemental. I think I would still take Fire Elemental, but it's strong.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you that, like, the 1 Overload is fine. I just think, like, within the context of the other Overload cards, they sort of... They've not been consistent with how they've dealt with Overload in the game, and I think that's kind of a problem. Because you look at this compared to, like, Feral Spirit, it's like, okay, why would, like, of course I would rather run this card. Obviously 2 different cards, 2 different uses, but, like, I think they need to reevaluate Overload to, I think Lava Shock is their way of trying to do that without having to actually change anything. Just like, okay, well, you run Lava Shock to help you with Overload, but I think they probably need to actually look at those Overload values a bit.
You also have to remember that 1 Overload doesn't exactly equal 1 Mana Crystal, because you have to also factor in the advantage of having the extra tempo earlier.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true. Yeah. Like you go second, you get the coin, you gain like tempo advantage over the course of a turn, which can be very important. So yeah, I agree with you that having an IOU system built into the card can be valuable.
This card's great. This is one of the best cards in the set for sure.
Mm-hmm. Agreed. All right, let's move on. All right, gang up. 2 mana rogue spell. Choose a minion. Shuffle 3 copies of it into your deck. So I think it's an okay card. One thing I was thinking. I mean, I think people are kind of down on it. I would say it's better than people are giving it credit for. Like my thinking is like you'd I don't know, like you gang up like Thaunos in Oil Rogue or something. Like because I mean if you could run more than one Thaunos like in Oil Rogue, you probably would, because you get spell damage and the card cycling, but you also get like it's a combo activator because it's only 2 mana as opposed to 5 mana for like a Resurrect Drake or something. So I mean, like running this as a one-of in Oil Rogue, I think could be interesting. We'll see how it works. Because you're cycling your deck anyway, you're going to get back to the extra cards pretty quickly, and like being able to get that extra damage from spell damage, I think could be very valuable. What do you think, Matt?
I don't think this card should ever be played in Oil Rogue. I don't think it should be played in really any deck, but if someone tries to make like super late game control Rogue, maybe, or mill, it could be okay, just because having the extra 3 cards in your deck so you don't mill yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Probably one of the worst cards. But Rogue's in a good spot how it is right now, so they didn't really need it.
Mm-hmm. And Kevin, what do you think?
I didn't really give much thought to this card before now, but I do think it's kind of cool. Ben Bro did confirm that you can do it for your enemies' minions too. So
Yeah.
It would be pretty cool if you just like shuffled 3 Tyrions into your deck. I don't know. I think it would. I don't think it fits in any decks that exist today for Rogue. Maybe if some kind of Rogue deck came out with the new cards. I don't know. I'm pretty new to Rogue, so I don't really have that much insight as far as Rogue cards. But as it stands now, I don't think it really fits in Constructed. But like someone's gonna try a deck that revolves around it, and who knows how that's gonna work. We have to wait and see.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew, what do you think?
I tried to think of a way to make this somewhat good in Arena, but I can't really think of many good situations. The problem is it doesn't affect the board. So you're spending 2 mana on a card, and the board state is exactly the same as it was before. So you lose tempo. If you're behind, if you're running out of cards and you can snag one of your opponent's big minions or one of yours if it survives, and then you have a much higher chance of top decking a big minion. That's about the best situation I can see, but it doesn't seem very good.
Yeah, I mean, Rogue being a tempo class, yeah, I mean, setting up something like this might be a bit of a tough sell. I mean, obviously, you're not like, it doesn't do anything up front. I mean, if you have 2 mana left over, like you'd still rather have another card,
Yeah.
But
if you're way ahead, if you're way ahead, you've already won.
Right. Yeah.
Or another
Seems like a
situation
funsie.
where it could work. What I've been hearing kind of is for a mill rogue, you could put like 3 Cold Light Oracles.
That's true. Yeah. Yeah. And
Or I mean, come on, guys, you get triple Doctor Balance.
Yeah. It just seems too slow.
Yeah.
If you went with,
Maybe in a mill rogue with Cold Light Oracle, but you will have to see.
Yeah, sure.
Alrighty. Majordomo Executus, 9 mana, 9/7, legendary, neutral card. Death Rattle, replace your hero with Ragnaros the Firelord. So, it's not a good card, but it's a fun card. I mean, it's pretty, nuts. Like, to turn your hero into Rag and hit anything on the board, any enemy on the board for 8 damage. So, I mean, I think it's a fun card, but, like, turning your hero into something with 8 health is like, okay, well, it dies to probably the next thing your opponent plays at that point in the game. So it's not going to live very long. I mean, you can reset. They said you can reset your health with Oxdraza to 15, but like no one's really doing that, So I think it's a fun card, but it's not very good. What do you think, Matt?
You can reset your health to 15 with this?
Yeah,
Yeah, I heard
yeah,
you can't.
yeah. With Alexstrasza, you
Or
can.
with Alexstrasza, yeah. But I don't
It-
think you can regain it again. I think it
Oh.
probably still maxes out at 8.
Well, no, I mean, like you can Alexstrasza yourself as Rag and get to 15 because it sets your health. It sets your remaining health to 15.
Yeah, but I think
Yeah,
you can't
that's-
heal if you get damaged. I don't think you can heal back up to 15.
Makes sense.
Oh, is that the case? Okay.
I'm thinking, but I don't know for sure.
Still a bit
Yeah,
too much to put together. But another thing about Alexstrasza, like apparently when Mal'Ganis is on the board, like you can't Alexstrasza your opponent to 15, which is very weird to me. Like it's not supposed to be damage, so I don't know why they're immune to that. But whatever, it's just sort of an odd interaction. So Matt, what do you think?
When it first comes out, I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna lose some ranks. I'm gonna have fun,
Yeah.
and that's all. That's all. Really is. Don't pick it in arena ever.
yeah.
And
I'd probably almost take a 9 mana 9/7 without the death rattle in arena, because it's probably just gonna screw you over. But if you have the chance, you can't not go Ragnaros. So that's really it.
Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, it's just for fun. It's as far as a competitive scene, never, ever, ever, unless you like. Actually, well, yeah, I guess if you get it from Unstable Portal, but but yeah, no, it's well, do you even want to play it? I don't know. It's bad, but it is a lot of fun.
I mean, the disappointing thing about it as well, besides all that, is like you don't even get Rag's weapon. So I mean, it seemed like they should have at least given you his weapon to go along with it. You know, it's like he has 8 health. He's gonna die to like anything. You know, they should have let you have the weapon and the hero power. I guess maybe they felt it was a little bit too much, but it's like when you have 8 health, you're like you know you gotta have a little bit of an edge.
All you gotta do is you gotta execute that by yourself, and then play Ragnaros, and then hit your hero power and do 16 damage. OTK. Done. Easy. We did it, boys.
Andrew, what do you think?
I wish they just didn't have the 8 health. I think if they had just left your health of whatever you had, it would have been fine. I don't even think it would be playable if it didn't put you at 8. But I mean, yeah, with 8 health, it's just going to kill you. I'd rather not play this card. I'd rather play a Wisp than this card in Arena.
Alrighty, let's move on to Quick Shot. 2 mana Hunter spell. Deal 3 damage if your hand is empty, draw a card. Pretty nuts. There's no downside to it. I mean, like either it's a Dark Bomb or it's a Dark Bomb that draws you into like some other damage. You know, I mean, there's really no reason not to run it. Like you don't lose anything on the deal. You know, so it's pretty nuts. What do you think, Matt?
I hate the card because I hate Hunter, and this gets to come out tomorrow, so
Yeah, of course they open
First swing. Yeah.
I'm gonna have fun queuing into the Emperor Thaurissan / Face Hunter all day. It's gonna be fun. No, but being serious, it's actually a really good card. 2 of easy in every Hunter deck.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, everyone get ready to tech your decks tomorrow towards Face Hunter, because that's all you're gonna be seeing. Even more so than now. It's great. It's amazing. Even though as Face Hunter you don't want your hand to be completely empty, you typically want to hold on to like an Owl or Unleash the Hounds or a Kill Command, but even so, it's still a 3 damage for 2, so that automatically is pretty good. And if on the off chance you do have an empty hand, then you get to draw a card. So there's nothing really wrong with it. It's I'm kind of upset that this is a card. I wish they had made a different card, but yeah, it'll be good.
So, like, let's compare it to Dark Bomb for a second. Let's pretend like the draw card part wasn't there. Like, Dark Bomb for Warlock was really important because of like it filled in a hole that was left by the Soulfire nerf, and even then, like you know, hand-lock discarding a card is not the greatest thing. So I mean, you can argue there's a little bit more value there of not having to lose some important cards just to do a little bit extra damage. Like, how do you think its utility in Warlock compares to Hunter if they were literally the same card? Kevin, sorry.
Sorry. As in relation to Dark Bomb, it's kind of. I think the draw card mechanic really makes it. I think that if it was just the damage, you could still do it. I don't know. I mean, I guess it would be okay without the mechanic. I think the mechanic really does make it, though.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew, what do you think?
I think it's still solid, even without the mechanic. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't play enough Hunter. I don't play Hunter Constructed really at all, so I don't know about Constructed. But yeah, the Hunter doesn't really have a whole lot of removal, and even in Arena, you're generally trying to control the board. You don't want to go face. You go face a lot, but you don't go face that often. And that was a pretty big gap. They don't have a lot of ways to clear stuff off the board. They've got Kill Command, but most of the time it just overkills with 5. They've got Arcane Shot, which is 2 damage for 1. Yeah, it doesn't. Yeah, I think it's solid just on its own, and if you can manage to get the bonus off it, then it's even better. So
Yeah.
it's a really good.
I think.
You know-
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, okay.
ahead.
I was gonna say a really nice place to use it is because when you're playing Face Hunter, you don't want to trade unless you absolutely have to. But it's a nice card to have in that situation where there's a card that you absolutely need to remove, and then you can just use Quick Shot on it, go to the face with everything else.
Mhm.
Be a nice place to use it.
Yeah, well, I'm thinking that the primary way that hunters deal 3 damage is through 3 mana cards, like either kill command or it's the bow, like, so having to wait till turn 3 to do 3 damage is a bit slow. So I think this card is like, it fills in that gap. Like it makes the priest matchup a little bit better because one thing I always try to do is keep Eaglehorn Bow to deal with a Northshire Cleric. So this card actually makes dealing with that a little bit easier because I don't have to coin it out turn 2 or wait till turn 3. So I think it fills in a little bit of a gap. Makes Hunter a little bit more versatile. Alrighty, let's move on to Resurrect. 2 mana priest spell. Summon a random friendly minion that died this game. I think this card's okay. I mean, obviously, you don't want to summon some dumb token that you like Shadow Madness or whatever. So I mean, if you run this card, it's going to be you're going to play nothing but high value minions so that the odds of you getting something good is going to be very high. Probably something like, I don't know, a 1-of, if in a priest deck that's sort of spec'd around the idea of having this card in it. Otherwise, it's just an okay card. What do you think, Matt?
I'm pretty excited for this card, actually.
Mhm.
Just, it may not be the greatest, but I am definitely going to try to make a deck around it. Like, I want to put like a Fugan and Stalag, Resurrect.
Wow, you're crazy, man.
It's
Gonna
definitely a cool
throw
card.
my
I agree with
rank.
you. Yeah.
I'm going to go throw my ranks out the window. But I'll have a good time doing it.
Yeah, well worth it too.
Kevin, what do you think?
I think it's good. I think it's not stellar, but I do think it's good. It'll fit well into kind of a mid-range dragon priest-y kind of thing. We haven't talked about Twilight Whelp though, but that does make Dragon Priest possible. So this could be a good card. As long as you have one card that costs like 4 or so come out, I think you can definitely have one and it works. Even if you get like an injured Blade Master, it's still a 3 or a 4/7 that you're getting out of that. So I think that it's decent. I think that it'll see play in certain kinds of decks. It's definitely an exciting card. As I find Priest very fun, so I'm gonna have a great time with it.
Yeah, the Blade Master thing is important, I think, because I mean, a lot of times priests have fairly slow starts. So I mean, a lot of times like the Blade Master is gonna be the first card you play anyway. So if you resurrect that, then like you're getting an insane value out of it. I think.
Yeah, that's also the problem with the card as well, though, is because if it's not like you can play this card in the early game, and the problem that Priest has had in the past has been getting off to slow starts and not being able to recover. So that just kind of makes that issue worse. But it's up to the if Dragon Priest can fit into the meta, then that would make this card better. If that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree. Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I think the card's pretty good. It's fun anyway. The worst case you're probably going to get, like in Arena, worst case you're probably going to get a 2-drop, which isn't good because if you're playing a 2-drop later in the game, that's not very good, and plus it's random. And the other thing to consider is I assume this card also factors in all the little like things like Haunted Creeper. I'm guessing you can get the spiders too, right?
Yeah.
Or the bits like off a Sludge Belcher or something, the 1/2 off of that. So it's got some potential to whiff. The longer you wait to play this, the more late game stuff you have in your deck, the better it becomes, the better odds it has to become. So it's one of those swingy cards where it could win you the game or it could completely whiff and you're sad. But I like it. It seems fun.
It'll feed more to the people who cry about RNG ruling everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you resurrect your Kel'Thuzad and it resurrects the rest of your board that died that turn.
Yeah, that'd be pretty good.
That would be really cool.
Alrighty, let's move on to Revenge. 2-mana warrior card. Deal 1 damage to all minions if you have 12 or less health. Deal 3 damage instead. I don't think it's very good. I mean, no one runs Mortal Strike. They won't run this either. I mean, granted, 3 damage to everything for 2 mana is good. It's just not good for it's just not good for the condition that's required. Not that warriors can't make comebacks with like armor gain and board clears. Like, I mean, it's another sort of board clear like Brawl that warriors could use. I just don't know if dropping to 12 health and then trying to get your armor to save you and then playing this card to wipe the board, it just seems a bit much. I don't think it's going to work out. What do you think, Matt?
If Whirlwind ever comes back to the meta, because I don't think very many people run it, because I don't play any of it in my warrior. If Whirlwind ever comes back in, I could see maybe putting this in instead of Whirlwind. It's only 1 more mana. It could save you, but it's probably one of the worst cards in the set. I'm not looking forward to playing it.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier, like Druid and Warrior have not gotten very good cards in the last 2 expansions. I mean, Shieldmane is obviously a great card, but besides that, it's like, I don't feel like they, Death by Nyxramas is like the last time they got a really, really good card in an expansion, I think. So they sort of gotten shafted on these, and, like with Druid, I understand that they're probably thinking Druids have Innervate and Wild Growth, so they're already pretty insane as is. I don't know. Warrior is not like this insane class that everyone's like destroying the meta with, that they need to like put a cap on the good cards they have. It's not like it's like if you don't get Fireworks in the first 2 or 3 turns, you like kind of lost already. And like it's like there are times you can like heal yourself in armor to out of range of all your opponent's damage. I mean, there's definitely times like that when it can happen, but I don't know. I feel like they're not being terribly fair to warriors. Like that combined with like the nerf to like you can be frozen through armor, which just Snow Trigger locks you out of the game. It's like, I don't know. I don't think they're being too terribly fair to warriors in this game, but whatever. That's just my opinion. Kevin, what do you think?
Okay. As far as the card goes, the card sucks. I don't care what anyone says. Whirlwind is kind of a thing for a lot of warrior decks to run 1 Whirlwind, but that's mostly to just take care of little things that are pesky or to proc your acolytes or your armor smiths. For example, it comes in handy against Paladin, and you can use Whirlwind to clear things with 1 health. The problem with doing 3 damage to all the minions is that you just kill your acolytes, so that's no good. And it just does too much damage to your own stuff. Plus, if you're just using it as a Whirlwind, it costs more, and no one would ever touch a 2-mana Whirlwind. As far as Warrior being pretty weak or getting weakened by the expansions, I do think Warrior will be better after this because of the Emperor guy. I forget what his name is, but I think that guy alone will make Warrior better just because it makes all your cards cheaper, which benefits Warrior greatly.
That's true. Yeah.
But yeah, it's just an important note to bring up. But yeah, as far as this card goes, it's just bad.
Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, not much to say. Card sucks. It's an expensive Whirlwind. Like you said, the Acolyte of Pain. You kill off your own stuff that you're trying to combo with it on your own side. In Arena, if you're already at 12 health, you're probably almost dead anyway, and Revenge isn't going to save you. So it's bad.
Alrighty. Solemn Vigil. It's a 5-mana paladin spell. Draw 2 cards, cost 1 less for each minion that died this turn. So I mean, again, all of these cost 1 less. They're 2 mana more than what they would normally be. Like, this is basically Arcane Intellect for 2 extra mana. And the idea is that, you know, you trade off some minions or a bunch of your minions die on your turn, then you draw 2 cards. But it's like, I mean, Divine Favor is, you know, it's 3 mana to draw you as many, like, potentially a ton of cards, you know. So I just don't see, I just don't see how it's going to get that much use. Like, I almost wish they said 3 cards. Like, just make it a Nourish or something. I don't know. Like,
then it'd
why
be
not?
strictly better than Nourish.
Yeah, it's just clearly better than Nourish if you do that.
That's true. I mean, well, I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much we value like the gain 2 mana crystals ramp part of it of Nourish. I don't know. I guess it would be probably too much. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about this card, but it doesn't seem that great to me. Matt, what do you think?
No, I think it's pretty terrible. I'm not gonna play it in a deck because I still think the Cult Master would be better.
Yeah.
Than this. That never gets played. And I don't really have anything to say other than I don't think it's good at all.
And Kevin, what do you think?
I think it's okay. I think that as long as you trade, if you can hold it in your hand, maybe you take one of them for sure. 2 would be too heavy. I think that as long as you trade 1 minion for one of their minions, that's a 3 mana draw 2 cards, which is good, and well, which is fair at least. And if you do get 3 minions to die, which is entirely possible with the Paladin philosophy with all those Silverhand recruits, if you can somehow get it to cost 2 mana, that's absolutely ridiculous. So I think I think it'll see play. I think it's fairly good.
Yeah, I mean, you know, the hero power synergizes with it. Muster for battle synergizes with it. You know, so yeah, like if anyone's going to be able to make use out of this card, it's probably Paladin more than anyone else. I'm not sure if even they would, but yeah, I mean, it definitely probably works better in this class than most other ones. Andrew, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's okay. You trade off 1 minion, it's an Arcane Intellect. It's actually a pretty decent top deck too, because if you've got 10 mana, it's okay to draw this, even if it costs 5 mana. And it has potential to make it cost 2 or 1. Yeah, it's like good, but I wouldn't say it's incredible. It's not like a must pick in Arena or anything like that.
Yeah, I mean, I do find these cost 1 less cards interesting because, you know, again, like the requirement, like you'll have varying degrees of success with, you know, how you can really decrease their cost and make them work for you. I'm curious to see what decks come out that maybe try to make use of this stuff and how successful they are.
The problem I find with a lot of these cards, at least in Arena, is if you're behind, you're not going to be able to. You're never going to get value off these cards when you're behind, and cards that don't push you back into the lead from being behind aren't nearly as good. Like it's kind of like win more cards basically.
Right.
I think tempo is very encouraged with these this set of cards.
You need to get a good lead.
Yeah, a lot of them are cards that are good if you have tempo, but are bad.
Yeah.
Alrighty. Twilight Whelp, 1 mana 2/1 priest card, dragon. Battle cry if you're holding a dragon, gain +2 health. I think it's a good card. You know, it's a lot of people are down on this card, but it's like, you know, it's a 2/1 for 1 mana. I mean, you're not really really losing anything on on the stats. And if it's a 2/3 if you have a dragon in hand. Like there are no like no one's gonna run fairy dragon, but like there's no 2-mana dragons or anything. Like what will be the cheapest dragon that people run that they might keep in the opening hand? Like I guess hungry dragon is the only one. I'm trying to think of what you would have in the opening hand that would work with this, but I think it's good. Yeah. Like, if you're running a dragon priest, you'd use it. No reason not to, I don't think. Matt, what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. You'd put at least one in your dragon priest deck. Just to note, there's pretty bad anti-synergy with Resurrect because
yeah.
it's a 2/1 there. It's obviously awful, so you wouldn't want Resurrect and Twilight Whelp in your same deck.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you're even fine with just Zombie Chow, because if you're doing the Akanai Soul Priest thing, even the Death Rattle sometimes good on Zombie Chow. It's a good card. There's nothing outstanding about it.
Mm-hmm. Kevin, what do you think?
I really like the card just because I like it. Dragon Priest I think has been hinted at a lot with the set. I think that it could definitely be a thing. So I think the card is very straightforward. If you're running a Dragon Priest, you'll include it for your early game. They're trying to make it so that Priest doesn't just get blown out of the water in early game exchanges.
Mm-hmm.
So I think it's okay. Just put it in the Dragon Priest and you'll probably be fine.
Alrighty. And Andrew, what do you think?
I think it's terrible. Like, even in constructed, it's not going to work because imagine you're going first, you hold this in your opening hand, you have to be able to hold another dragon in your hand. So if you do hold another dragon, it's probably going to be like a 4-drop or plus, right? There's no other cheap dragons unless you're going to run fairy dragon.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well just run zombie chow. I don't see it working at all. Even if priest tried a dragon drac, I don't even know if they would put this in it. In arena, obviously it sucks because you're not going to have a dragon.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Volcanic Lumberer, 9-mana 7/8 druid card. Taunt, cost 1 less for each main that died this turn. I think this might be the worst card that they showed for this thing. It's. I mean, again, it's like I said before, these cost 1 less. They're 2 mana more than what they would normally be, so it would normally be a 7-mana card, but it's like for 7 mana you can get a 5/10. So why would you ever use this? It's I don't know. It's just like if you can maybe get it down to Earth Elemental level, then it's like even then it requires a lot of work just to put together. Like unless you're putting this in a token deck, like you're not gonna really make that happen most of the time. And I just don't see why you would want this huge thing that just baits BGH anyway in a deck like that. So I don't think it's very good at all. It's probably the worst card they announced. Matt, what do you think?
Really bad. BGH is just gonna snipe this out every time, and then you're just gonna waste your entire turn because you're not gonna get to play it for like less than 7 on average. I am not never touch this card. If I could, I would disenchant it for the 40 dust. Yeah, that's all I have to say about this one.
And Kevin, what do you think?
Yeah, plain and simple. It's just not good. If you want a card like this, then you play Ancient of War. It's clearly better. 5/10, no BGH. There's just no point.
Mm-hmm. And Andrew, what do you think?
In arena, it's not the worst. If you compare this card to Ironbark Protector, it's almost identical to Ironbark Protector, except you have 7 attack instead of 8 attack. And 7 attack pretty much kills everything, so that's irrelevant. So if you can get one thing to die, it's Ironbark Protector, which is pretty good in arena. If you can get 2 things to die, it's better than Ironbark. So I think the card is actually pretty good in arena. Like I wonder if I would take this over Ironbark. I may actually. It's close.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Alright, so that was the last card. So Matt, what do you think overall of all the cards? Like this entire adventure. I mean, we're not going to go into like the actual adventure itself. We're just talking about the cards. Like I don't want to make this thing go on forever, talking about all the stuff they announced. But as far as the cards go, Matt, what do you think overall of this adventure?
I'm upset that Warrior got boned again.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, both the cards suck.
Yeah, this
Like, two worst cards.
Yeah, absolutely.
Majordomo Executus. I wish he was better, so I could at least have like fun and do like alright. But yeah, those are sort of the biggest things. Yeah, that's really it.
And Kevin, how do you feel overall about the cards in the adventure?
Okay. Quick synopsis. I think it's very oriented towards tempo, despite all the high cost cards. That Emperor card is the best card by far. Shaman got a huge buff, which I think is going to make Shaman very good, and definitely one of the best classes. Paladin is probably going to be a good one, and I'm curious to try Priest. So, yeah, I think that, I think it's going to be very tempo oriented. Obviously, dragons are fun, so it's going to be a good time.
And Andrew, what do you think overall?
I don't think there's been enough cards released in order to at least Arena. There's not enough cards to really, oh wow, like this is going to change Arena so much. But I think it's fun. Like I love new cards. I'm going to enjoy having the doing the adventure mode and heroics and stuff like that. And the new variety in Arena, that's going to be nice. So I'm excited.
Yeah, I agree with you guys. I think I love the theme of it, like, you know, the dragons and all the fire and brimstone and all that. I think it's I never played WoW, so I have no connection to it from that perspective. But you know, I think it's gonna be very fun. So, but I mean, yeah, like I agree. Warrior got shafted again, and Druid, of course, also got the hose on that one.
Druid doesn't need it though. Druid doesn't need another good card.
That's the thing. Like, I mean, it makes more sense to not help out Druid than it does. But Warrior, I think they've been treated very unfairly. I think, yeah, I mean, Paladin like got the best individual card. Like the Consort is insane. Let's see.
At least Warrior got the Emperor guy. That'll help it out a little bit.
That's true. Yeah, Control Warrior will be pretty nuts with that card. So I mean, yeah, I mean it's not all bad. You know, it's
mostly bad for Warrior.
yeah. I mean, it's just.
Yeah, we're witnessing the death of Control Warrior.
They were in an okay state though. Like people still play Warrior in the ladder right now. So
that's true. Yeah. It's just there's so many Death Rattle minions, so like their weapons are like you have like Warrior has all this spot removal that takes care of one minion at a time, and like you're dumping like true. 2 or 3 things at a time, and they all have Death Rattle, so it spawns something else, and you it's like you can only hit one thing at a time with your weapon, and like the armor gain and the weapon synergy are they're counterintuitive because you're breaking your own armor, so you can't, you know, you have to armor up at the end of the turn after you've attacked because you don't screw up your armor gain with Shield Slam. It's like, you know, I don't know, like Warrior, like I just think Warriors need a little bit of help, and they've just sort of like been shafted. Like they have Brawl as their only comeback mechanic, and it destroys their own board, you know, and even Revenge destroys their own board too. Like I said, even that doesn't like help, and like despite it being a bad card, like even that wouldn't do anything, you know. Like your own board is being hit for 3 damage too. They need something to so that they don't just lose on turn 2 if they don't draw Fire War X, you know. But whatever, well, you know, they'll figure it out. Yep. Yeah, so I think that's it. Yeah, I mean, so like I said, we're not going to go over the adventure stuff. Like you guys can, people viewing can, look that stuff up. It'd take too long to go over all the different bosses and stuff. It all looks really cool though. You know, like all the different abilities and stuff look really neat. So I can't wait for tomorrow to play the first set. But go ahead, Kevin.
A quick question before we wrap up. Does anyone know what time the adventure is going to be available tomorrow?
I don't. I assume midnight, but I'm actually not sure. Well, actually, it wasn't midnight with Max Armas, was it?
Yeah,
like,
I'm not sure, actually. Can't remember.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I think it was. Maybe? I don't know.
Yeah, well, I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
Yep.
But yeah, I can't wait to try it out. I mean, you know, like, I know, like, one thing I know people were complaining about, like, there's no free wing this time, and, you know, you have to pre-order to get the card back and all that stuff. And it's like, you know, I don't know, $24.99 for 31 cards. So it's not you're not just getting the cards, you're getting the adventure. Like it's
Yeah,
not like you know you're not it's not just that one thing. It's not like they're just giving you 30 cards or 31 cards. Like you're playing a game mode and having fun with that too. You know, the cards are a reward for playing that part of the game. You know, you're paying for both, and I think $25 is reasonable. You know, I
I'd
don't know.
probably pay $10 to $15 just for the fun of the adventure.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I mean it's just you know I don't really
Yeah.
like you're paying less than $1 for the card each card, and like you're getting the adventure on top of it. You know,
Yeah.
that doesn't seem too bad to me. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
And you know, it's only their second adventure they're experimenting. You know, who knows what the third one will be, how they'll structure it. You know, so I mean, I think it's good.
I agree.
Yep.
So Matt, do you want to do any sort of plugs?
I'll go last.
Okay.
Give me a
Kevin,
minute.
Kevin, do you want to do any plugs?
Wait, what? Oh, sorry.
Promoting anything that you're.
Yeah. If any of you guys who are watching have never played in Tuesday Night Hype, which is the tournament we run, you should definitely check it out. It's a lot of fun. It does take a long time, but it's a great tournament experience. Also, gives BlizzCon points. You can also visit our website, vicioushs.cards, and there's a lot of cool content on there, as well as information about signing up for our tournaments. Yeah, thanks for tuning into our channel. Feel free to give us a follow if you enjoyed.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So in addition to that, like we're gonna have a podcast next week on Wednesday with the winner of the Tuesday Night Hype tournament. So that'll be something that'll be ongoing. So every Wednesday, the day after the tournament, we will interview the winner of the tournament. In addition to that, this show will not just be interviewing the tournament winners. So we'll probably do 2 podcasts a week. So one on Wednesday for the tournament, and then maybe like another one on Friday. We haven't entirely worked out the schedule, but we'll figure it out. And so you know, please follow the channel and tune in, and we'll have this posted on YouTube as well.
Can I add one more thing?
Sure.
We're also trying to implement, maybe starting to do some show matches. I might do a show match with Hot Form during next Tuesday Night Hype because he loves doing
nice.
show matches and I'm friends with him. So, yeah, we were thinking that. I'm also friends with Firebat and Zalay, so maybe I could ask them. But, yeah, so we'll probably end up doing a show match with someone, so that would be fun too.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. Yeah, we're definitely Vicious Syndicate is going to bring a lot of video content hopefully very soon. Yeah, we'll have these live streams. We'll post on our YouTube page, and you can follow us at Vicious HS on Twitter to find out more about these different events that we will put on. Andrew, do you have anything you would like to promote?
If you guys like arena runs, come watch me at Cerebusx. That's it.
Alrighty. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, Andrew, for being on the show. Thank you, Matt and Kevin, for being on the show as well. Thank you guys for watching, and have a good night.
All right. Good night.
Good night,
See ya.
guys.